story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
And here they are, the participants for the 6th annual London Chess Classic. Great field, great field. Fabiano Caruana, Italian-American, rated over 2,800 on a tear this year. Vishy Anand from India, former world champion, just finished challenging Magnus Carlsen for the world championship. My buddy from the United States, Carl Nakamura, who won it last year. Great player. And Vladimir Kramnik, guy's a monster. Absolute monster, and I mean that in a good way. Former world champion from Russia. Anand Giri, living in the Netherlands. Another great upcoming player. This year he's been on a heck of a tear. And also a guy I like a lot, Mickey Adams. He's a great player. Been around for years. And Mickey and my birthday are close together. His is the 17th of November. Mine's the 16th. So happy belated birthday to you, Mickey. But anyway, that's the lineup. Great lineup for the 6th annual London Chess Classic. Don't miss any of the games. Here are the final standings in the 6th annual London Chess Classic 2014. They use the football scoring system. 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points for a loss. Now they're shown here, but actually after the tie breaks were put in, Vishy Anand is the winner of the 6th annual London Chess Classic. So here they are. Kramnik, Anand, and Giri with 7 points. My buddy from the United States, Carl Nakamura, with 6. Caruana and Adams with 4 points each. Poor Mickey started out so well and it just kind of petered out. Anyway, folks, here they are. Congratulations to Vishy Anand in the 6th annual London Chess Classic. Hi, folks. John Cordisco back again. Round 5, the last round of the 6th annual London Chess Classic. Played in December 2014. Really interesting endgame. Those of you who like endgames don't go to the end, but how important the king is in an endgame, and you'll see as we progress here. White is Mickey Adams. Michael, a.k.a. Mickey Adams, number 1 rated in England as white, and former world champion is black. From India, Vishy Anand. It's going to be a really low pay Berlin. Don't roll your eyes because there's a ton of different Berlins. I'll tell you the truth, I don't care for the Berlin, but I will say this. It leads to the most fascinating middle and end games. We'll just go through because we've all seen this a million times on the Berlin. Knight, bishop, pawn, takes, knight, queen, king. Seen this a couple times. King e8. Okay, here we go. Interesting, if you saw my video with the Carl Nakamura when he talked about a game that he won, they asked him concerning Kramnik and the Berlin. Kramnik brought it back when he beat Garry Kasparov, and it's been played a ton at every level, especially the elite level like this. And he made a funny comment. He went, well, you're either one of two things. Either Kramnik is a genius or Kramnik has ruined chess. And he laughed. So I don't know. I think Kramnik just does what the world-class players do. They find new lines and new ways to play. Knight c3, h5. Typical stuff. Rook to d1. Bishop e7. We've all seen this a lot of times. But what I like fasting is the endgame. And you'll see here g3. Pawn a4. Try to bust up black's pawns a little bit there. Get some space. b7, a5. Hoping that it'll take. Of course he won't, because the rook will take, and that will just isolate 2 double isolated c pawns. c5. Now white can't take. If it takes. Connect black's pawns back together. That's a wonderful thing for black. That would do him a world of good. Knight. You know, knight to d5 is a computer move. But knight to b5 is an interesting move as well. Knight to d5, stopping the rook, the knight that's hanging here for free. Bishop d8. The computer likes bishop takes d5, and then rook takes, and then b5 for black. And I kind of do too. But bishop d8, that must be a line they looked at. Bishop g5, rook f8, c4 to reinforce the knight. Bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes, and knight takes. Interesting. Instead, though, if A had taken, c takes, knight takes. It reconnects his pawns, but I like the fact that there isn't a pawn that can go here and chase this rook off. But anyway, after knight takes g5, king e7, king g2, knight d4. That knight is in a great spot. There's no bishop to chase him off. The only other piece that can chase him off is the other knight. Rook to d1. I've got my Fritz computer on off screen, Fritz 13, and it shows basically even a minute advantage for black. I don't think Mickey went wrong. Well, what I don't like about this position, to be honest with you, is the fact that rook's on d5. He has very little places to go. Very few places to go. Rook a to d8. The computer liked that move as well. c6. If he chased the rook off, he just goes to d6, but I still don't like the fact that that rook's boxed in. Rook a to d8. He doesn't take it. He goes knight f3. Now, of course, we all see why rook doesn't take rook. Rook takes, pawn takes. And those two pawns right in the center there are pretty powerful. c6. Finally, he takes, rook takes, knight g5. b5. Looking to get some passed pawns of his own. Now you're going to see where the kings play such an important role now. That's why I mentioned it earlier in the video. Kings are very powerful pieces in the endgame. I've seen articles where they place the value of the king at 4 pawns. And a bishop and a knight are 3 pawns, roughly. And a rook is 5. So that's a pretty powerful piece. C takes, C takes. Now I'm not so sure on C takes. The computer likes it. But knight to e4 is a close second for white. But he takes. Those connected pawns, I'm not real keen if I would give him those, but he did anyway. Knight to e4, knight to c6, threatening the rook. Rook takes, king takes. Now I don't know why I think all of us in an instant would play knight takes a5. Who wouldn't? But he didn't. He played the second best move, e6. That's really surprising for Mickey. Now, we're on move 27. I'm not sure if he was in time trouble or not. Also, e4, or excuse me, f4 was a good option as well. But he went e6. It's about a half a pawn advantage now for black. F takes, knight takes, king e7. Maybe Mickey missed an opportunity here. Now, as we all know, knight and pawn endings, especially when pawns on both sides of the board, are just maddening, trying to figure out the knight maneuvers. Knight to b3, just to protect the pawn on a5, I would assume. King d6, here comes the black king. This is what I meant by, and see how Vishy's king is right in the action. King to f3, king to d5, trying to shoulder away the king. Now he's going to try coming here eventually, forcing the knight to move, and then knight takes. King f4. Computer didn't like that at all. King e3 I think was the better move, and I agree. We went king f4, and now comes the black king. It looks pretty tough for Mickey here. White's going to have a hard time. He has to go knight to c1. Knight takes a5. Now, he still needs to get to e3. Or go to g5 and go after the pawns. One of the two. But e3 was by far the better move. He goes knight to g5, decides to go after it. If he went king to e3, knight c6, king d2. It still sucks for white, but at least he might be able to stay alive. But after king to g5, knight to b3, he's got to move the knight. b4, king takes. If Vishy had this all worked out, a5, and that's where Vishy called it quits. The best move for white, king to g6, go after the pawn. Then after a4, it's just doomed. He's just doomed. He's going to end up pushing this pawn here and then to here. And after pawn takes, and there's no way he can stop that pawn. That king is going to shoulder the white knight away, so he'll queen. So Mickey threw in the towel. Tough break for Mickey. They were using the football scoring system in this tournament. That's 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and 0 points for a loss. But anyway, the tournament was won by, I believe, Anand. You'll see at the beginning of the video I kind of blew it there. I put the standings of the tournament. So if you want to see the total standings, you can check out what you saw back to the beginning of the video. Anyway, folks, that's the final game from the 6th annual London Chess Classic. I hope you liked it. Some interesting games, some pretty good players. And as I always say, folks, at the end of all my videos, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.